Federal rules and regulations can have a major impact on the day-to-day work on your cattle operation. Here to talk more about this important topic is Scott Yeager, NCBA's Environmental Counsel. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
Thanks for having me.
So, Scott, NCBA has been fighting against the Waters of the United States rule for several years now. What are the risks this rule could pose to cattlemen and women?
There are a lot of risks that the 2015 WOTUS rule poses to our producers, and the biggest issue is that it is federal overreach at its worst. It claims many more features as federally jurisdictional water, and that's a problem because it means more federal oversight for our ranchers and feedlot operators, and that means more permits, and it means exposure to activist lawsuits.
The president recently signed an executive order that rolls back the WOTUS rule. What exactly does his executive order do, and what are the next steps at EPA?
So Trump's executive order is a big deal, and it was a great deal for him to do that. So what it does is it directs the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers, who were the co-implementers of the WOTUS issue, to go back and look at that 2015 rule and then either rescind it or rewrite it. And then another big part of that executive order is that it tells them to look at late Justice Scalia's opinion in the last Supreme Court case on this issue, which means a replacement rule would be much more narrower than the 2015 WOTUS rule, which is a good thing.
So as I understand, NCBA is also party to a lawsuit challenging WOTUS. How does the executive order affect that legal challenge, and what's the timetable on that front?
The executive order means the beginning of the end for the 2015 WOTUS rule. And once that rule is officially rescinded, we will no longer need to pursue our lawsuit, so we'll put that to rest. And then our sole focus will be working with the EPA and the Army Corps to make sure they understand the pitfalls and the problems with the 2015 Obama WOTUS rule, so that when Mr. Pruitt at the EPA starts formulating a replacement, he'll be able to produce something at the end of the day that will, number one, work for cattle producers, that number two, will protect water quality, and most importantly, follows the rule of law.
Thanks again for joining us, Scott.
Thanks for having me.